Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, if you buy a UTV like this one, they come off the assembly line pretty cool and pretty rugged, but they're not always as tough as you want them to be. You want them to be Texas tough. And Jared, that's where you guys at Texas Tough Customs come in. How can you take a stock vehicle like this and make it trail ready like that one?
Absolutely. Well, we build custom lifts, custom bumpers, and custom cages to do really anything you want. We tailor all of our products to each customer and their individual specifications.
Well, that's a great looking vehicle. Let's talk about some of the specific things you've done to that car.
The first thing we got up here is one of our Texas Tough Customs bumpers. This one in particular features a provision for a 9,500 pound winch on it. So we run the Warren winch up here. In Texas, we got a lot of thick mud and we need bigger winches to pull us out when we get stuck in that deep stuff. Another thing is these things come stock with small 27-inch tires or whatever, and our biggest goal was we wanted to build something that we can put bigger tires on.
And if you're trying to just put bigger tires on this, you notice it's going to hit the wheel wells right away.
Absolutely.
So you can't go much bigger than it already is.
Yeah, so we build a couple of different lift kits, and all of our lift kits push the front wheels forward and the rear wheels back so that you can put bigger tires on them.
How big can you go?
Well, this one in particular has our Texas Tough Customs 6-inch long travel kit on it, and with something like this, if you're not running portals, you can run up to about a 35-inch tire and be completely fine with it. No rub, no nothing. With this particular kit, you get extra suspension flex in both the front and the rear, and you gain 8 inches of wheelbase, and you also gain 5 inches on either side of width. So it makes the platform for this a lot more stable when you're in the rocks or off-camber situations, or even in deep mud ruts or anything like that.
With all respect to the folks that made this, it doesn't quite look right when it comes off the assembly line. It looks like the tires are too small, and that looks correct.
Absolutely.
You told me the story about this. How did you end up going with this size and discovering how big a tire you could go?
So I started with a machine that looked just like this right here, and I was like, man, we do too much mud riding. We got to have bigger tires. So I wanted to run about a 32-inch tire. So I got into AutoCAD, started designing some stuff, and did some reverse engineering and whatnot, and I designed a lift. Well, I went and ordered my tires. They were 32-inch tires, and when I went to go pick them up, I was like, man, these look kind of funny. They look kind of big, and I read on the side they were 34s, and I was like, oh, man. So I go back in and ask them, hey, man, these are the wrong tires. And they were like, well, you paid for 32s and you got 34s. You know, you came out on the good side, so go ahead and take them home. And I was like, well, all right, whatever. Went home, did some redesigning on the lift and modified it and made it work for 34. So with our 3-inch kit, you can run up to 34s with it.
A happy accident that changed everything. Now, as we go back on the vehicle, we see the roll cage, and this is a pretty cool looking one. I like the way it sort of encompasses the whole body there. Is that something you sell stock like that?
So we do custom roll cages, custom bumpers, everything is really custom. That's kind of where we get our name, Texas Tough Customs. And what I like to do is I like to have some kind of meeting with the customer. I like to ask them to send me some pictures of other things that they like, whether it be rock crawlers or other different side-by-sides or whatever, and I'll take those pictures and I'll do drawings in AutoCAD on their particular side-by-side, give them a couple different options, and whatever they like and pick, then I start cutting it and fabbing it and build it for them, and they get to take it home and enjoy it.
Well, let's talk about the construction too, because a lot of these are safety items. You need a stronger winch, you want a wider stance. Now, you talked about the lift kit on this one. What lift kits do you offer?
Yeah, well, so we offer 3 other options for arms. We do both a 0-inch lift, which is just front arms only, pushes the front tires forward 3.5 inches. We offer a 3-inch kit, which pushes the front tires forward 3.5 inches, pushes the rear tires back 2.5 inches, allows for up to a 32-inch tire, gives a 3-inch lift. And then we offer our 6-inch long travel kit, which pushes the front wheels forward 4.5 inches, rear wheels back 3.5 inches, gives you 5 inches on either side width. And you gain an overall 8 inches of wheelbase on that one.
You know, all safety related. So talk about the construction of what you
Yeah, so all of our lift kits, both our 0-inch, our 3-inch, and our 6-inch standard, they come in 1 1/4, 120 wall tubing. But for some of the bigger guys that run the big lifts and the big tires, we build some with 44s, 47s on them. And for those guys, they need a little bit stronger tubing on them. So we offer a lower set of arms out of 1.5-inch quarter wall, which is our extreme HD arms. So depending on what the customer is doing and what they're requiring, that's what we'll do. And we'll customize really whatever the customer needs.
How does tubing like that compare to what I can get on a stock vehicle like this?
Absolutely. The stock material is super thin, super small, and it just doesn't even compare. there. It's just night and day difference. Our lifts are built for abuse, and they're ready to go.
Well, the name says it all. They are Texas Tough. And where can they find you on the web?
Our website is www.texastoughcustoms.com.
All right, you can check them out on the web during the break, because we will be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Jeffrey's Performance, offering the highest quality in UTV builds and performance upgrade installs. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
You are cruising along with Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, and this is my buddy Danny Agosta from Steel Rubber Products. Danny, we've seen how Steel Rubber makes rubber seals for everything from RVs to boats to fire trucks, and most of your market though is classic cars, guys that are hot rodding out there, maybe restoring a car or building one. So what kind of questions do you get from the folks that are doing a car like that?
Most people question is what fits my car. And for people who are restoring a classic, we have a great tool where you can actually find the parts that fit your car by the year, make, model, and body style. So our website, you can go on there and search, everything will come up. And then we also have catalogs that are year, make, model, and style specific.
And that is what blows me away. I've been to your facility and I see somebody calls you up or hits you up online and says, I've got a 67 Camaro, what do you have for my car? And you actually print a catalog specifically for them with everything they need from nose to tail on their vehicle.
We print them on demand. So if you know, Tri-5s have several different body styles. If you have a two-door sedan, we have a catalog that's just for the two-door sedan. You don't have to worry about hardtop parts, convertibles, four doors, or anything like that.
What are some of the biggest problems you're trying to solve for folks that are building classic cars?
So for something like this, you know, 29 that maybe didn't have any seals on it from the factory, or it's chopped and you're trying to refit your glass, we have a huge universal line that you can find all the parts for your glass, your doors, trunks, and all the window fuzzies for around the glass.
And for this one in particular, now this had no seals around the entire vehicle, but some rattling with the windows, like you said. So we pulled off the door sill. What's the procedure here to figure out what we need for the car?
So if you're looking for something for your belt line or window felts, you give us a call and we know exactly what you need. We've got all these parts here in a little sample pack. You can dump them out and find out which one fits the best. And we have some that are made with metal in them that get riveted on or screwed on, some that have peel and stick, and we found that this one with the peel and stick fits best for this application.
Yeah, we did a little recon beforehand and found that that's the one that fits best. I like these though, because you see with the metal there, you can actually put a bolt right through that and the thing's not going to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
You can say the same thing with the glue and the 3M adhesive as well. That stuff's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it holds really well. Cool. And the adhesive that we have on the back of this is 3M also. This is a real simple peel and stick application.
And it comes in a big roll like that, but we pre-cut it just for demonstration purposes here. It's real easy to do though. You cut it at both ends, so it fits.
I mean, it's as simple as putting a piece of tape on. I mean, it's peel and stick. And this adhesive, like I said, holds really well and will actually cure even stronger over the next 72 hours.
Yeah, how long do I need to let this sit before I run out in the rain?
Yeah, so, you know, I would let it sit for a day at least. But I mean, you can see that's stuck on there. It's not going anywhere. I could peel it off if I wanted to, but over the next several hours, it's going to hold even stronger.
And that's a pretty routine application. When you're customizing a vehicle, though, you're putting maybe something different, a headlight that didn't come with it, or in this case, the mirrors that maybe weren't original, and you're going to look for mounting pads and that sort of thing. Those are hard to find. If there's some kind of strip rubber, what can you offer?
So we do offer a selection of weather stripping that you can put and make a custom mounting pad, and those can be found in our catalog, different types here, and we happen to have a piece with us that will fit right on the license plate.
And that is something I looked at on this vehicle. We were talking about this piece, and you know, even in my vehicle, it's a 2017, and I still get so paranoid that this license plate frame is going to cut into it. You're going to have dirt, and you can take a look. When we took this one off, look what was underneath. It was dirty. It was a little bit scratched up. It was pretty much a mess. And there's a simple step to fix all that, and Steel Rubber's got that solution.
Yeah, so this is a license plate cover, but I mean, you can imagine this being any sort of piece of trim, whether it be a headlight bezel or some other piece, but this piece of trim goes right on the edge here and just clips right onto the side.
And would you glue that as well, or does it just stay on like it is?
So you can decide for the application. I would probably end up coming back and gluing this on. We have a glue that you'd want to use, a 3M weather strip adhesive, and then also a Loctite to glue the two ends together. I mean, there's lots of 60s cars that have all kinds of chrome on the side. This can go on that. We have different shapes that would fit different applications. But anytime you're putting metal onto your paint, there's kind of a cringy feeling that that's just going to cause a whole bunch of havoc under there.
No doubt. How does the rubber from steel rubber compare to OEM rubber that was originally on these vehicles?
So we use a 100% EPDM rubber. So it's very long lasting as far as UV protectant, ozone protectant, and originally it wasn't EPDM rubber. That's why it degrades so fast. Mopar actually used an EPDM rubber in the 60s, and if you look at it, some of their rubber parts look brand new. That's the same as ours. We have parts on cars for decades and decades, and they still look brand new.
It's amazing how much just a simple piece of trim can do for a vehicle, both for looks and to protect it for the future.
Absolutely.
Very cool. You can see what they have for your vehicle at steelrubber.com. And we will see you right after this here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. You know, you can make all the power in the world, but none of it matters unless you can get it to the ground, and that's where a torque converter is so very important. And Nelson, you are the genius behind Boss Hog torque converters. What sets your converters apart from the others out there?
Well, our applications guide is probably the biggest and most key important thing when we're having to go through as many as 7,000 plus variations to match just one torque converter to that one particular car.
No, wait a minute, because usually you call somebody up and you say, okay, what's the cam, what engine you running, and what's the rear end gear, and that's it, and then here's your torque converter.
Yeah, well, what if it's in a 1,700-pound car? What if it's in a 6,500-pound truck? All these things matter in how the torque converter is actually going to work, install, and perform in that car. The intake makes a difference, the heads make a difference, the exhaust system makes a difference, how much gear ratio. So really, you need to have all of that information in order to tie this together and match the correct stall for you. Not only your car and its application, how you're trying to drive it, but how you want it to drive as well. You also have to be careful in how you select it, because if you have a lot of gear ratio, but you have a whole lot of tire, that's not going to work out either. You're going to have to pay attention to what you're doing and make sure that the car is going to operate either on the street or on the racetrack in the manner that you're going to want to do it without burning stuff up or breaking stuff.
So if I've got a hot rod and I just want to put a little bigger tire on it, how much difference is that going to make in the gearing?
Most ring and pinions are designed off of that 26-inch tall tire. Every inch and a half taller will take out one whole gear set.
Oh, wow.
I know a lot of guys with 373 gears that have 29-inch tall tires, and their run-out performance in a 1-to-1 ratio is equivalent to a 327 gear. But that's not where they wanted to be. So they would actually have to go to a 411 to actually see that 373 output that they've been thinking that they actually had.
Just looking at your converters, they stand apart. The welds are different than anything I've ever seen in the industry. Tell me why.
We go way beyond norms on our welds. We actually have our own micro bulk system, our own mixing in the gas. We have specialty equipment that works for our applications. We're actually doing a military style weld called spray arc transfer. This is where we actually heat it up to such a level that literally will increase the deposition rate by 6 to 8 times. Therefore, it gives it a work hardening to the piece, and it gives it that much more strength than our competitors.
Let's break it down here. Tell me what's going on inside the torque converter.
So how we actually get the best torque multiplication, the torque converter uses centrifugal force to actually sling the fluid out towards the outside of these fins right here. Now these fins are differently angled all throughout the entire process. So as this slings outward, it's actually going to go into the turbine here. So as it goes into the turbine, it's then going to hit the stator. The stator locks up and applies back pressure, and what you're going to see is these particular pieces here are set up to actually in a V or a cup. So once you've overcome the stator locking up and the staying still, this would actually begin to turn. That's where your torque multiplication actually starts multiplying, and you can actually overcome sitting still and begin to move the car forward. And we could do that very violently, or we could do it normally.
You get a lot of calls from folks that are just trying to add power and they're tearing their stuff up.
Well, that's where our main focus is. You know, a lot of our torque converters may not be the prettiest on the market, but we concentrate on keeping the least amount of rotating mass on the engine. In some cases, cases, we actually have torque converters that weigh 20 pounds less than the competition. That could be as much as 70 horses to the ground.
Well, let's see how it all fits together once we throw it in the transmission. Let's call in the boss here. Nora, come on over here. You're 7 years old, right? All right, well, she's not just here for show. She actually knows how this all works. She works in the shop, right?
Yes, she does, man. She started out as a Hot Rodders of Tomorrow. When she was 5 years old, she actually rebuilt the Briggs & Stratton engine.
This is a top.
All right, what's next?
A bearing with a stator on it. And this is another bearing.
So we use all encased bearings, Torrington style, so it keeps them a lot cleaner. And they're far more durable than your regular needle bearings. There you go. It's on the O-ring and stuff.
This is my spring.
We also use extreme high temperature O-rings.
This is a piston. This is a bottom.
Excellent, and that is all there is to it. Now you can see the fit and finish. It's a family-run company. It has been so for 50 years, and you can check out their quality. Check them out at accperformance.com or at bosshogtorqueconverters.com. We will see you in a few minutes here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coating. Stay tuned.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Hook Road, make a difference. Oil Udder, funny name, clever tools. And by Cub Blind Spot, keep safety on your side.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now this invention comes to us from our friend Dick Sherrado. He's up in North Dakota, and he's a farmer and a rancher, and he's been doing that for decades. And he also loves to invent things. You can find them at SherradoInventions.com. One of those things is designed for you motorheads. Now, if you have a UTV, you may use it on the farm, just like Dick does and has been doing for a long, long time. You may use it on the trails, and you notice, of course, if you're a farmer, you're up in the morning, and that early morning sunrise hitting you right in the face is a real bad deal. It's hard to see when you're headed out to the back 40 in the morning. And of course, at night when you're on the trails, the sunset can be pretty annoying. And some of these UTVs have sun visors, others do not. And here's a super simple way to solve the problem of having the sun in your face. It is called the UTV visor. The name is as simple as the invention. And for your roll bar on your UTV, it's got a couple of magnets here. Each one of these has a 25-pound pull, so this is not coming off when you bounce down the road. It's a lightweight piece of durable plastic, and it is going to stay put once you put it on. All you have to do, don't need instructions for that, you just affix it to the roll bar, and it will not come off. I'm telling you, this thing, it takes some strength to get that off of there. And you can fold it up when you don't need it. It goes away. You don't even notice it's there for the rest of the day. I like it also because you can put it anywhere on the cage, depending on where the sun's hitting you and bothering you. You can take it and move it around if you need to. Also, don't forget, it's perfect for your passenger so they can see as well. Now, Dick Sherrado tells us he got the idea from those clip-on visors that you've seen, and this one makes it even simpler for a UTV, and he says he needs it in the morning when he's chasing cattle around on his ranch. He's got another invention, too, and it's got all kinds of uses. It's called the mailbox clip and more. So you have your outgoing mail. Dick's up there in North Dakota. Lots of wind, lots of rain sometimes out there on the plains, and your outgoing mail sometimes will be sitting in the mailbox. The wind will blow it open. The rain gets inside, gets your mail all wet. All you have to do is take the mailbox clip and more, stick it up to the inside of your mailbox. You hang your outgoing mail onto that just like that. The mailman will be very happy, and the recipient of the mail will be very happy when they get it and it is dry. Well, I told you it's called the mailbox clip and more. That's because you can clip it to the side of your roll cage, and maybe you're going to the mailbox out on the farm. You just clip it right on there. It'll hold on to your mail. You've been in a cart before, and all your paperwork starts blowing away, and that happens a lot in a golf cart, by the way. So you can clip your mailbox clip right to that and carry your mail back from the mailbox, or your scorecard, or even your cell phone can clip right to the side of your golf cart or your UTV. And do not forget, if you're a golfer, you live in a community where you can take a golf cart everywhere, you're going to want the UTV visor. Clips right on just like it does on the UTV, and you can keep that sun out of your eyes at sunrise or sunset. You can check out the UTV visor, the mailbox clip, and more, and a whole lot of other really cool inventions at SherradoInventions.com.
Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
You know, folks love their Subarus, ones like this, because they're great in town, very civilized, but if you want to go out on the weekends and have some fun, maybe get up into the mountains or hit the trails, well, the Subaru's perfect for that too. And I tell you what, the Magic Creeper is a lot like a Subaru or a crossover like this because it is civilized. You can use it in the house as a kneeling pad. You're going to do some gardening. It's very handy to have around the house. I've shown you, we've done hardwood floors in our house, and this thing came in handy, saving my knees. You can also use it out in the garage. You want to wash your car, get down low, maybe clean the wheels and tires. That's where the Magic Creeper is great as a kneeling pad. And of course, you can use it as a fender cover. And then when you want to hit the trail, that's when you need the Magic Creeper. Just throw it in your trunk and have it handy because you never know what you're going to run into out there in the brush. You can use it to get stuff out from underneath the vehicle if you have to, of course, doing maintenance, checking your tires when you're out there. And you can even use it as a pad at night if you want to throw it in the old tent. But let me show you how easy this thing is to use. If you get into some trouble and you want to get under the vehicle to check it out, you just unroll the Magic Creeper, kind of like bowling here. You just grab it, throw it underneath, make sure you got a little bit hanging out, and plop onto the end of it, roll out a little bit, and you are able to roll underneath. And the great thing about the Creeper is you can move from side to side and back and forth, and can roll over rocks and roots and all kinds of things you'll find out there, and you'll have no problem. And the Magic Creeper gets all the dirt. You stay on top of the Creeper and you never get dirty at all. You can get right back on your way thanks to the Magic Creeper. Check them out at magiccreeper.com. It's the only place to find the original. Well, that music means we are out of time for this episode of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. We're going to do it again next week, though, and we hope you come along for the ride. In the meantime, you can check out our Facebook page or our YouTube channel to see what we're up to. And if you have a product you'd like to see on this show, email Jeff at masterstv.com. From our entire crew here, we will see you next week. So long.